Okay, welcome to Fighting for Our Lives. Okay, today I want to do a video. It's not going to be a long video. I want to do a quick video on probably changing our thinking. Okay, and making ourselves more powerful. Okay, giving ourselves power over choice of what we do, how we live our lives. Okay, so if I'm tired, okay, if I'm tired, I'm going to sleep. Okay, it doesn't matter when, but I am going to sleep or catch up on my sleep. Okay, if I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. I'm going to make sure, or I prepare food for me to eat that day. It doesn't matter when, but I make sure that's a priority of mine, and it's my prerogative to make sure that I eat enough for me. That's my thing. I need to be in control of that. Nobody else. Okay? Now, the reason why I'm talking about that is because in life, you will know, or you now watching this, will be someone who's in a situation, whether it's at work, with a job, in a relationship, in an addiction problem. Okay, you're in some sort of situation, or you know someone who's in some sort of situation where they're so unhappy, but they've just accepted it. And they will give you every reason or find every excuse that validates to them in their mind that, yeah, okay, this is me now. Okay? Well, what we can tell you now, whether you're going through a really difficult time, there's people all over this world who are not only going through what you're going through, or what I've been through, going through, but people who are going through much more worse situations, who have decided that they're going to take accountability of their lives, of their situations, and make a change. And if that means making a change to their thinking, or getting motivation, or they've been they're that sick and tired of being sick, or they're that sick and tired of being hurt, or they're that tired of going nowhere and was wasting their life away, that's the inspiration and the motivation that they needed to turn their life around, for their life to be a life that they're happy about, that they've got the balls to at least try it a different way. We need to keep accountability of what we're doing in our lives, no matter what the situation. And it literally is every situation. For every situation, there's somebody who is telling you now that that's why they're unhappy, but there's nothing they can do about it. It is what it is. There is another person who is going through exactly that same situation, who is using that pain, that hurt, that numbness, to make sure that they don't go through that another single day. So, in this channel, okay, even in the name, fighting for our lives, the word fighting is the key word there. Nothing is going to be easy. Nothing in life is easy, but the things that we can do to make it easier is by the choices that we make within our lives. From top to bottom, we have to step back and assess things properly. It's too easy, right? Even for me, for you to go to the doctors and look for a label of how you're feeling, or why your world is a struggle at the minute. It's so easy to get a label. So I see people relieved. Oh yeah, it's because I've got this and this. That's why. Or, they want some medication to take, and that's going to be their comfort blanket. The fact of the matter is, that is not going to change your situation. What's going to change your situation is by coming out of it. stopping it, doing something else. Staying in your predicament or doing nothing internally, changing nothing internally, is going to keep you in the same predicament. Yeah, a tablet or, there's certain things that can kind of numb the pain a bit and ease the pain, but that's a real short-term thing. So long-term, the only way we are going to live a happier life and to not go through the things that we're going through now that makes life unbearable in some cases is to change and to change our thinking. There's somewhere along the line we need to get the spark or the motivation, the inspiration that gives you that ability, that fire, that aggression, that fight to get yourself out of predicament. I walk around and I see people just, the life has almost been kicked out of them. There is no fire, there is no, it's like you see people that'll get punched in the face and just accept it and walk away. Or you see people being spoken to, used, manipulated, bullied, hurt, and just turn a cheek and just carry on. And I'm not saying that you need to be some sort of fighter or warrior by any means, because that's not true. But what it means is that you don't want to just keep going through that. You don't want to just exist in this world. And it's almost like being on an escalator, a slow escalator towards death, really. And like you're on this escalator and you're just waving to people, yeah, I'm going, it is what it is. I've almost, in my own mind, stop living, stop thinking that there's anything to look forward to, stop looking for a reason or a need to change and to hope, and I'm not talking about people in the old ages now. I'm talking about people, young people, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. I see there's people in their 20s, who have the life. There's no want there. There's no fight there. There's no need for them to want something better. If you're in a shit situation, if you're in a relationship that is hurting, that is making you miserable, that means you just have nothing. You're not happy. The answer is just too simple. I don't want to hear excuses like, oh yeah, but the money, the house, the finances, the this, the that. It means nothing. I know people who've walked away from money, from bricks and mortar, and lived their best life. You cannot live your best life. My nan stayed with my granddad, who made her miserable, made her feel so rubbish, because she didn't want him. They both put in 50-50 into their house. She didn't want him to just have that. So she stayed in that situation. And that was her life. Her life, her whole meaning was, I'm not going to let him have that. So I'm going to go through misery and pain and not look for a better way of life because of a financial reason. Because by the time that all... she was in a position to enjoy life, she was too old. She couldn't even get out of bed. And then you're just left with what ifs. I should have, could have. It's too late then. It's about having the balls to go for things. It's risk over reward. Nobody who ever did anything worth anything in this life without taking risks. It's too easy, it's too comfortable just to sit in this comfort zone. People live in comfort zones that can be violent relationships, abusive, mentally abusive, physically abusive. Even they're seeing their children struggle and suffer, but they will sit in that situation because it's a situation that they know and they understand. Or there's someone in a job who gets spoken to like crap. They've got a boss who's a narcissistic piece of crap, and he'll treat them rubbish every day of their life, of their working life. but they will sit in that situation because they know that situation is better than the risk and the uncertainty of going into the unknown, of going into another job that they may or may not like. So we just sit in our shit because it's our shit. But that's not a strong person. That's not strong to be able to do that. Strength is when you will go out into the unknown. Just take yourself out of that situation. It's easy just to sit in it. No, whatever it's a relationship, a job, a friendship, no matter what it is, if you're unhappy and it brings you misery and it affects you in such a negative way that it goes into other parts of your life. It seeps into every area of your life. And the only way you can start living and feeling again is by removing that situation. There's nothing, it's so simple, it's so easy that people don't do it. What we're looking at today, this whole point of this video, I was in a situation before where I was in my life and I wanted my kids to have everything that I didn't have. So just because of that one value there, I want my kids to have everything that I didn't have. That one value made me sit in a job that I didn't like, but financially it was good. It made me stay in a relationship that I wasn't happy in, but it was something that my kids never had. Sorry, that I never had and I wanted my kids to have. A family unit. Even though it was making me unhappy, I stayed in it. And I was doing these things because of the value in my head that I had from a young person, from my pain. The pain I had from a young person of, when I have kids, I don't want my kids to, not have a dad and a mum and a nice, loving, family, caring home. And I want my kids to go on nice holidays and I want them to have nice things. So that value that was born out of my pain and hurt and misery and suffering actually made me suffer more and more in my adult life as well. And then if I'm honest, then that affects my kids because no kid, no child is happy being in a situation where the parents are not in love. They don't want to be together. There was no bad behaviour in my situation, but that doesn't mean the kids are not going to still feel, that these people are not in love. They're not doing the things that they should be doing. And ultimately, as individual people, we needed to be doing something more for ourselves. Because to be happy, to be the best person that you can be, to be the best mum, to be the best dad, to be the best friend, to be the best worker, you need to be happy. You can't be sitting in pain and expect to fly. Because the pain is what holds us down. It keeps us, with that weight on our shoulders. It's funny because I was speaking to someone the other day about, they was in a 15-year relationship. It was a toxic relationship. They got into it when they were young. And naive. So after that, they come out of that 15-year relationship and needed 2 or 3 years, obviously, to kind of, get a hold of themselves again, but it weren't nice. Then they started dating in a year or 2 years, and they met some people who weren't good. They met some people who were all right, but they just weren't fitted. But they was able to turn around that 15 years of pain and misery, and they changed that into, that was a learning curve. I needed to go through that learning. And now, what that's given me in a positive way, moving forward in my life, is actually not a negative at all. It's a positive. And this is all to do with our thinking. So that's all I'm saying. Today's video is about do something, be proactive, action. Don't just accept your situation. Don't go around telling everybody you're sad, you're miserable, you're unhappy, and do nothing. Or give excuses why you're just going to stay the same. We have one life to live. I'm saying this in every video. We have one life. And it's irrelevant if we've suffered, if we've gone through trauma, we've gone through abuse, we've gone through pain, we've gone through suffering. Okay, we can't change that. But do you know the amount of positives we can take out of that to make sure and ensure that we, for the rest of our lives, for the rest of the journey that we have left, we don't have to go through any of that anymore. If it means being on our own, so be it. Whatever it takes to live your best life, to live our best lives. Use your pain as your new superpower. Learn everything, whether good or bad, everyone we meet, every situation we're in, good or bad, we're learning, we're always learning. And if you're always learning, you're always open, then you know within here that you don't have to be scared of life anymore. You don't have to be scared of anything. No matter what happens, as long as you have your bearings, as long as you have the ability to fight, you will always be okay. We will always be okay. But it's about taking a step back and really being honest and looking at your life from top to bottom and assessing it and being real with yourself, looking in the mirror and being real with the person looking back. What do I need to do? What do I need to take away from my situation that's going to enable me now to heal, to grow, and to move forward? I hope someone's got something from today's video. I know certainly for myself, it's my thinking and my understanding of the power of choice. The choice of power that is something that we always have. But it takes a lot of, accountability and acceptance. And it's not a scary thing. Do you know what's scary? Staying in a situation, accepting a situation for the days, the months, the weeks, the years, the decades of your life, staying in those situations and wasting away a chance, the only one chance we get at living, not just existing, but living. And that doesn't mean, all right, every day I'm going to be skipping around and there's pink clouds and loads of money and whatever, It doesn't mean that. That's not real life. And who would want that? But being in a life where you can always look forward to things, you can always be challenging yourself, you can be there for you, you can be there for whoever you need to be. But most importantly, you're content. You're not sad, you're not unhappy, you're not being abused. You're not in a dark place. You're just okay. Okay is a beautiful place to be. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Show the channel to anyone who you know might find anything useful. I salute all you warriors. Keep fighting. I love you. Take care.